Men aren't just checking out of the dating scene, they're also checking out of the workforce as well. I got a video from Man Reacts. Let's get straight into it.
Society places men dead last every time.
Facts.
And society expects men to place themselves dead last every time. I think if I was going to be an object, I'd rather be a sexual one or somebody's prized possession than an object that can simply be thrown in the trash or smashed into pieces in the service of somebody else's purpose.
Mechanics are becoming harder to come by as open positions stay vacant.
We're experiencing a shortage of just about everything these days, and now we're learning about a shortage of airplane mechanics.
Ladies, where y'all at? Thought y'all wanted that equality. Why aren't y'all becoming mechanics, plumbers, and electricians? Oh, no, you don't want those jobs? But I thought y'all wanted equality. We need more female bricklayers, chat. That's what we need more of.
There is a shortage of skilled tradespeople throughout the U.S. economy.
I could hire 6, 8 experienced plumbers right now.
But they're just not out there?
They're just not out there.
First and foremost is the perception of plumbing. There's this stigma that goes along with getting your hands dirty. Just a plumber, not a person, just a plumber. And I don't want to be that guy.
Some people tend to look down on that. And that makes people not want to.
So true, and it's awful because we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need guys that roughneck and work the oil fields. Like these are all very necessary to keep the infrastructure of the world going around. Mechanical engineers, civil engineers, all these things are very needed. But I think it's mixed with the demonization of women, like demonizing men like this, but also it's a steady decline in the testosterone levels in men. Like look at this, 1990 to 2000 or 1999 to 2000, pretty high, goes down, and it plummeted. Look at this. And it's slowly on the climb back up. But a decrease in testosterone levels in men has to be maybe not the only factor, but a direct correlation in why men aren't seeking out these dirtier jobs or what some would deem as a manlier job. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Do you think the decline in testosterone levels in men has led to men not wanting to do these grittier, dirtier jobs? Or do you think I'm way off base? Let me know.
Not a conversation about the top men up here. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of men CEOs and all that. Okay. This is a conversation about men in general. Most men are not in positions of power.
Facts.
They're regular.
I mean, hell, I'm not. It's just me, Loki, and Cass. I ain't got no employees. I'm a regular dude.
Guys walking around, and you know what they are? They're figuratively castrated by society and by modern media. They're walking around being told they're toxic all the time. They can't say anything to women without having their head bit off.
Well, chat, we've been lucky enough so far. No head biting over here.
Oh, you're a misogynist. For every little thing, they're like, forget.
That's another thing, bro. People, anytime they see my content, like, you're a misogynist, misogyny. It's like, you really don't watch my content. We don't hate women. We love women here.
God forbid they want a feminine woman. It's like a crime. That's what's going on for the average guy. There's expectations of them. They're going to make 6 figures. They're going to do all this. In the meantime, the woman gets to just do whatever she wants and claim feminism as an excuse for why she gets to live the exact way she wants and make the demand she wants, but he can't do anything and say anything without getting his head bit off. That's the reality of most men. That's why men, and the conversation was about why men look to Andrew Tate.
True, because men are demonized for their preferences and women are celebrated. They're like, yes, queen. Yes, queen, know your worth. Don't settle. Oh my lord, do not settle, girl. Yes, know your worth. It's like, baby girl, you're 33 and ran through like a set of stairs. You better settle. You'd be lucky to get a man. You'd be lucky to get a man that works a good job like that. Plumbers make 6 figures. That's good money. We need plumbers. Who you gonna call when that toilet's backed up from all those tampons you've been putting in there? You're gonna call a plumber, and you're gonna hope to goodness gracious that he can come in and fix that stuff, because if he can't, I know you ain't gonna do it.
Why men are checking out of society and relationships. People don't go where they're unwanted, and everybody always puts the blame and shame on men for everything that has gone wrong in society. A woman wants a man who is emotionally available and sensitive, but if a man expresses his sensitivity, he is told that he has a fragile ego. If a man wants to defend himself against a woman, she will shame him into being quiet by saying he's either too aggressive or he has toxic masculinity or he has, again, a fragile ego. If a woman says something offensive, she is protected. If a man says something offensive, he is canceled. It's
dude, that's so true, though.
Considered sexist or misogynist to point out a woman's shortcomings, and you have to walk around eggshells with them because of their sensitivity. But men...
Man, those S's are kicking her butt, though. Ooh, those things are sharp.
Get mocked, ridiculed, and disrespected in society, and they're just supposed to sit back and take it. You can make fun of men all you want online, mock them, criticize them. If you do that to a woman, you'll...
I mean, yeah, you can't get canceled. You definitely do run the risk of it. Luckily, we've been lucky enough, chat. And I think it's because our message here is we don't hate women, dude. We're not women haters.
This is what really screws men. As men, we are socialized and conditioned to only feel anger. This is the only emotion you are allowed to feel as a man growing up. And this is the one emotion that gets demonized when you're older. So I'll give you a simple example.
True.
So when I get bullied in school, like, what am I supposed to do, Stephen?
In school, well, it depends if you can fight back.
Absolutely. Like, you didn't say talk to the teacher. You didn't say cry about it, because if I cry about it, what's going to happen, Stephen?
You're going to get bullied more.
Absolutely. So men experience anger as something called an umbrella emotion. We literally suppress and are conditioned to suppress all other emotions except for anger. And then if you talk to men about their experience of life, anger is always the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Someone breaks up with you. How do you feel about it? Do you feel ashamed? No, that's not what we say. I feel pissed off. How could she do this to me? And then we vent that anger on the internet, and then this turns into misogyny. The men who are saying these kinds of toxic things are saying that for a reason. This is because of their upbringing. This is because of the world that they lived in.
Bro, I was raised by a single mom. You know what my mom said to do if somebody was picking on me at school or tried to fight me at school? Go tell the teacher. Don't fight back. Don't fight back, son. Just go tell the teacher and it'll be all okay. That's why we need fathers in households, dude. We need men to help these boys learn how to be men. I wish I would have had my dad growing up when I had those adolescent years, but my mom was like, just kill them with kindness, son. That stuff never works, bro.
Back to America, it's just like consistently this, like, how can we put more accountability on men and how can we take more accountability away from women? And then like the mainstream media, the music, the video games, like you're in the gaming industry too, you know, like everything is just like piling on to shit on men and like endlessly jerk off women. And guys are kind of just like, all right, like it's kind of gotten to this point where it's fucking ridiculous. Like guys absolutely have issues too, but men are just not going to sit around and cry and feel sorry for themselves. But women will 9 times out of 10, they will do that.
Yeah. Oh, women are going to vent and cry and just be like, oh, boo-hoo me, boo-hoo me. But us as men, we don't fester on the problem. Because what does that do? It does absolutely nothing to sit there and think about the problem over and over and over. What we do as men is we think about a solution. We're solution-oriented. That's because we're logically driven.
What do you think it means to be a man today in 2023, then?
You don't even need to look anything like a man to be a man.
Toxic masculinity for sure.
Women in general are seen as like meek. Women have all these options. Match, nonstop.
Young men have to some extent been de-skilled in terms of relationships. And if there's a war...
Well, we're being socially castrated and neutered as men. That's what they're doing to the young men. No, you can't be a boy. All the women that are your teachers, like kids go to school now and they're 75% of all their teachers are women. They're told, calm down, chill out. Boys are supposed to be rowdy. We create social hierarchies that way. But yeah, they're just trying to neuter men. They've done that and Dutch men are like that. That's why they go like 50-50. That's why they call it going Dutch. Like those men will not approach women. They're like socially castrated.
You've got to pick sides.
Men are literally disgusting.
White men dominate and exclude women.
Men are trash. That's common in society.
And in the absence of proper role models, men are feeling lost, lacking direction, and even forgotten.
Young men didn't know what they were supposed to be doing.
Most men are desperately lonely.
And if either gender can't show up as their best, it can only hurt society. But in today's lack of nuance, is it considered sexist to even explore masculinity? And can we realistically find a balanced approach to gender dynamics, or is it too far gone? I guess we gon' see.
I don't think it's too far gone. I mean, that's why I started the channel, to help men be better men and let them learn some things, or try to teach them some things that I wish I would have learned when I was a kid, when I didn't get the direction that I really needed. Because I sought out direction from like a buddy of mine, and he had older brothers. So I always had older friends because I was like, I'm behind the curve. Intrinsically, I thought that, even at a younger age. But I feel like a lot of men, they don't have that instinct to want to do that or even have the resources to. Some men are really introverted, and it's not easy for them to make friends.
What do you think it means to be a man today in 2023, then?
In 2023, you don't even need to look anything like a man to be a man.
You don't even need to look like a man? What are you talking about?
He puts huge pressure on men, and it's time for men to perform. As a man, you either perform or you don't. There's no safety net like there is for females.
True, dude. I completely agree with that. As a man, you have to realize that nobody's coming to save you. As a woman, you kind of have that safety net. You can latch onto another guy who's high value, get yourself in really good shape. Superficially, you can look good, and then you can just go grab the skirt tails of another guy, and hopefully he'll just take care of you. But as men, nobody's coming to save me. There's no sugar mamas looking to save me.
Females can wake up and say, I don't feel like it. The men who say I can't feel like it cannot compete with the men who do not say that. And it is player versus player. The man who goes to the gym every single day, regardless of how he feels, will always beat the man who goes to the gym when he feels like going to the gym. And it's player versus player. And let me tell you something. As much as you want to sit here and disagree with me, it's women who decide who the winner is.
Yeah, it's so true. Women wait at the finish line and pick the winners.
You know, what is there about the developed nations that is leading to boys doing so poorly? So when it comes to boy-girl time, if he feels he's a sensitive boy and then is being rejected by girls because girls tend to date winners, not losers, and he's now experiencing himself as a loser because he doesn't accomplish things very well, he then becomes angry and hurt and withdrawn. And if the video game addiction doesn't satisfy him, or the alcoholism or the drugs don't satisfy him, he can turn to porn, which will addict him to girls and women as objects rather than as real people. And which leads to more rejection by the girls who feel treated as objects because they're being treated as objects. Those are the boys that are set up for the mass shooters. They look to ISIS or some other larger sense of purpose that their dad didn't provide, or they become our prisoners. In the United States, 93% of the prison population is male.
That's wild when you think about it. And you know why? That's because navigating the dating scene can be absolutely brutal, but so can dealing with the aftermath of an accident. Have you ever been involved in a personal injury case? Over the years as an image consultant, I've worked with many clients recovering from workplace accidents, car accidents, and more. And I was actually shocked to learn how often people lose their personal injury cases. That's why I want to talk about Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. They specialize in a wide variety of personal injury cases, and they've won thousands of big cases. And if you end up working with them, they're going to fight for the money that you deserve. Just recently, Morgan & Morgan solidified verdicts in Florida of $12 million and $26 million in Philly. That's up to 40 times the highest insurance offer. And I'm telling you, your case could be worth millions. If you've been injured in an accident, don't wait. You can go visit www.forthepeople.com/Levi, found in the description below, to start your free claim today. Y'all know what time it is. Can we get some freeze in the chat? Pour flavor? Can we please get some freeze in the chat? Loki. Free. Yeah, but it's wild to me because, in my opinion, like I said earlier, I think we've, as a society, we've castrated men, we've neutered men, we've taken away what masculinity really is. But when it comes to fighting the wars and defending the country and defending our rights, we need that masculinity to defend our rights. Andrew Wilson was talking about this when he was on Piers Morgan's show. He's like, women, and I'm paraphrasing here, he's like, women demonize men for being masculine, but when it comes to fighting the wars, they want masculine men to fight the wars. So like, what are you guys talking about? He was like, you want men to go out on the front lines and stab each other in the face with bayonets, but then you want to say he's toxically masculine? Like what? Like he has toxic masculinity? Are you kidding me? Like, you need these kind of men to defend the country. Like, you're out of your mind.
Female body and more fat, and the opposite in a man. And so if we just forget, that how we are both, as men and women, equally important, men are missing where they're supposed to be, the rock, where they're needed. Men are needed in the household. Men are needed,
yes,
to take care of the boys that are, maybe don't have fathers and need better examples so that they don't get put out into the street doing some, crimes and getting involved with the wrong crowd, because when a boy is lost, that's what he does, okay? And then,
Well, us as people, we seek belonging. That's why I'm like, you can be as introverted as you want to be, but at the end of the day, we're social creatures, man. Like, chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. We're social creatures. We yearn for belonging. We yearn for a sense of community, no matter what that community is. Whether you dress up as a furry, you play video games, or you watch content like this. Like, we all have a sense of wanting a community. I think it's very normal for humans to want that. We're social creatures.
Gets into drugs, gets into homelessness, and it's just a whole pipeline. It's very easy for it to happen. It could have been very easy for me to end up that way, given my circumstance, given the way.
I mean, dude, it's true. For women, though, they have a lot. It's a little bit easier for them. They don't have to worry about near as much. just easier. Women usually play life on easy mode.
Simply saying hello, simply saying, hey, you look nice, looking at them is considered weird if men do it nowadays. And that is the state of what has happened to men and masculinity and anything related to manhood nowadays. Is we're wrong. We're wrong. We just have to accept it, and that's how it is. And no one wants to come to our defense.
I am. That's why I'm here, gents. To stand up for you guys. I get messages every day, and it honestly warms my heart when you guys are like, Levi, your advice changed my life. Levi, I'm losing weight. I really appreciate you standing up for us. Because a lot of people, you know, they have a job to risk. They have a career to risk. They got a family to risk. Like, there's a lot at risk. Like, when you put yourself in the limelight like this, people want to call you names. You know how many times I've been called a misogynist? When I'm like, really? I'm married. Love my wife. Raised by a single mom. Love my mom. If I was a misogynist, I'd hate all women. I wouldn't be in a relationship, right? Duh.
Stupid.
But people don't want to see the forest through the trees. They just want to see the thumbnails, see the titles, and just put me in a box, which is okay. I'm okay being in the face of ridicule. I'm okay being in other people's crosshairs and them calling me names because it doesn't bother me. But I feel like it's my job to be on this planet and stand up for other men. Because I wish I had somebody standing up for me when I was a kid, but nobody was.
If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're
It's so true, though.
Chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson.
True. Well, it's because men, we form hierarchies within ourselves. When I think Marquette Devon mentioned this, basically when boys are left to unstructured play, they build out hierarchies, and when conflict comes up, the boys go up the hierarchy. The hierarchy deems, okay, this is the next step in the game. They do some conflict resolution and they move on. When women are left to unstructured play, they argue and then end the game. They quit the game. So we're wired differently.
The thing that most feminine women are coming to is this cool relationship between men and women where it's men's goal and purpose is to civilize nature, but women's goal and purpose is to civilize men. And
Nice.
so there's this kind
Never
of,
heard that.
there's just this mixing of this is how the roles should be. And if women are trying to civilize nature, it's not going to work. It's going to turn into chaos. It's going to slip out of their hands. We're not capable. That's not our God-given purpose. But if we can spend our time civilizing men and then inserting beauty into the places that men build in the culture, then that's where a woman can click into her most powerful essence. And a lot of women are, by rejecting feminism, are finding femininity and then finding that truth is where they can insert beauty and life and civilize men is really where the culture change is going to happen.
I mean, well said. Very well said. Well, I've always said this, like, isn't it crazy to me, chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree, how most women that are self-proclaimed feminists are the least feminine possible. Loki, what are you doing? Get on your place. Hey, go to your place. Lay down. I don't care if you got a scratch. You stay right there. Goodness gracious. This man's going rogue. But isn't it funny that the women that are the self-proclaimed feminists are the least feminine? They have short hair. They look wild. They have a bull nose ring. Wouldn't you think the women that are feminists exude femininity, beauty, grace, elegance? Wouldn't you think that? But it seems like the opposite is true. It seems like most feminists are more like men than they are women. How are you a feminist and you look like a man? Shout out to Mad TV on that one. But Loki, what are you doing? Oh, he's got that little pant. He's trying to be bad. He's trying to be bad. What are you doing back there, bro? What are you doing, bro? Just chill out, Lokes. Just chill out. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. But it's wild to me, especially after watching that Netflix show Adolescence. You really start to realize, now a lot of that stuff is glorified and, you know, it's Netflix and it's Hollywood, so whatever. But you really get a good snapshot of what boys are going through right now. There wasn't terms like incel, red pill, manosphere, the 80-20 rule. That wasn't a thing when I was a kid. And nowadays, and I don't know how true this is from the show, but they talk about how kids are texting nowadays and how each emoji has its own meaning. Like a yellow heart means something, a red heart means something, a purple heart means something. The dynamite means something. Dynamite basically means you're a red pill that's exploded and you're an incel. I was like, I had no idea that's what that meant. But these kids are making up their own language, just like we did. We used slang, but now their slang is part of emojis. And so it's crazy to me that this is what kids are doing nowadays, because we didn't have that when I was a kid. We barely had the texting game. We were using the QWERTY pad, you know what I mean? You had to press 9 3 times for W and 5 3 times for S, you know what I mean? Boy, how times have changed. But no, it's absolutely wild to me. But I don't know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to be the catalyst for us moving forward? Are women going to have to be more feminine? Are men are going to have to be more masculine? Is it going to be a little bit of both? Like, how are we going to come to a place where average men and average women are back creating families, creating nuclear families, and we're growing this population in a way, raising testosterone levels, raising estrogen levels. Women aren't entitled. Men aren't seeing women as objects. Like, it's going to take a big shift. That's why I create this content, because I know it's going to take a lot of redundancy. It's going to be very repetitive. But these messages need to be said over and over and over. That's why I post every day. They need to be said over and over and over and over. To make a societal shift, a societal change, you have to have a very redundant message. It has to be deliberate and it has to be redundant. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go to LeviNichs.com where you can get the 2 ebooks, the 4 Pillars of Personality and the 4 Steps to Style that make you irresistible to women and respected by men. I will see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.